Misfits Boxing 4 takes place this weekend in the dazn X series, and I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this mainly because I feel like it's kind of found a little place in the corner of boxing. Now I'm strictly MMA. I'm an MMA guy. Funnily enough, I am actually in a boxing match in April. However, I'm an MMA guy by heart. Like, I truly love MMA and I will cover MMA. But right now, while this is big in the news, I'm going to speak about Misfits Boxing and number 4, and we're going to do a full card reaction and breakdown today. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on who's gonna win each individual fight, and we're gonna go through it one fight at a time, everybody. But first of all, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching the last few videos. I had like 13 hours of watch time, and I only do like 10 minutes videos, and I just really appreciate anybody who even drops like a singular comment. Like it honestly, anytime I see that little notification saying someone's commented, it lifts me up. It's like yes, and I'm constantly trying to improve the content and improve my knowledge and everything on takes. Like before this video, I did loads of research into everybody except one individual who I will get to. I just can't be bothered googling, because I think he's a bit irrelevant at the moment. But so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a sip of my tea. Okay, now I am ready to get into it. So starting off the card, right? So we've got, how many fights? We've got 7 fights it looks like on the card. Starting the card off is Faye Ordway versus Elle Brooke. Now this is a little one I want to break down for you. I watched Elle Brooke fight whenever her fight was, and I didn't watch it live. However, I watched her fight after, and she was scrappy. She had a bit of dog in her, no pun intended, and she showed athleticism but not much boxing skill. Now, I didn't expect much from her, and I didn't expect her to look any better than she did. She looked rubbish. However, she showed athleticism, and a video of her hitting the pads that came out yesterday or today, I was like, you're explosive, you're athletic, and you've got the legs for boxing in terms of lowering your stance, lower sense of gravity, uppercuts, left hands. You got that like stocky kind of strength about you, and I was like, wow, fucking hell, you go, girl. And obviously she's like a porn star or whatever, but doesn't mean she can't box, and I quite like it. Like Astrid Wet as well coming over, like she's a porn star or like an OnlyFans model. Personally, I'd never seen any of their work until I never have watched anything like that. Anyway, she's against Faith Ordway. Now, I know nothing about Faith Ordway. All I know, she's a lot taller than Astrid Wet. Not Astrid Wet, then Elle Brooke. She's a lot taller. And Elle Brooke came out in an interview earlier today saying, you know, that's the only thing I've really got to think about. She's taller, but she hasn't been boxing as long. I think she had some sort of background in combat. I'm not too sure what it was, but I want to say this. Elle Brooke has fought before in front of a crowd, not a Misfits crowd, but she has fought before. And when you're this level of boxer, right, reach and height can be a massive disadvantage for Faith. Now, I know this from personal experience. If you're a taller guy or a taller girl and you're going against a smaller guy, and yes, you're bigger, you've got the reach, but if they've had a little bit more experience than you, or even if you eliminate all experience from it, typically the shorter guy will win, because the tall guy is danglier, longer, so when he's in the pocket, he's not getting the right power on his punches, and he's not keeping that range. And when you're not switching stances, and when you can't keep the range and just throw one shot at a time and take your time, and when it gets a little bit scrappy, the taller fighter tends to break down, and it's easier to hit to the body and to the heads because they're longer and more dangly. I'm going to say Elle Brooke finishes this fight. I'd imagine it's 4 rounds, so I'm going to say in round 2 or 3, around the middle, maybe around the 8-minute mark in this fight. I'd say maybe third round, about a minute or two into the third round. Just being a bit more explosive and maybe just catching her to the point where she's wobbling just up against the ropes, and then the referee will stop it. Just to get this card started, I'm pretty confident with that pick. I think Elle Brooke to win, but definitely if you want to risk a little bit of money, if you're putting a bet on it, I'd say by knockout, or TKO rather. I just feel she's explosive, she's strong, she's athletic, and she's going to get the job done on Saturday night, January 14th. Next fight, I'm not going to speak too much about this one. This is the second fight of the night. It's Joe Fournier versus Anthony Christodoulou. I've got Joe Fournier winning this one by decision. I think he's massively overrated, and I want to see his official... I'm going to quickly just pull this up, right? He made an official quote, and I wonder if I can... an official statement about something to do with this scene, and I want to see if I can find it. If I just have a little look. I can't find it right now, but anyway, he's 9-0, 9 KOs. I just don't know if he really fits into this space, because an interview he put up earlier, right? Or not he put up. An interview that was released. He's got no star power, and he's fighting an MMA fighter with 13 wins and 7 losses. I think Fournier picks up maybe like a first round KO. First round KO. I just feel like this. I feel like he's been put on this card right before the influencers, because he's not an influencer himself. However, he's a real boxer. So if he goes out there and gets that first round knockout, KSI's next fight, if it's Joe Fournier, is perfect. First round KO on the Misfits card, 14-0, 14 KOs against KSI to finally prove he can beat a real boxer. Joe Fournier by first round knockout, first or second round knockout as well. I just feel like these Misfits cards are so well, the matchmaking is so good for them that I truly, truly believe the fights are always going to be good. Like, we haven't really seen a bad fight on Misfits yet, like at all. Like, can you name a bad fight on the Misfits series cards? I don't think so at all. Even the JMX versus Ginty fight was really exciting, because JMX was knocked over a wee bit as well. But anyway, I'm just leave that there. I've got a lot more to say about Joe Fournier, but I don't really know much about him. However, I know he's not a star. He doesn't have much of a personality. Yes, you see him in Dubai on these balconies, like, oh, hey man, he's an interesting character, but he's not a star, and I don't think he ever could be. That's why he fits kind of into this space so perfectly, because he's kind of like the perfect guy to have a bit of something on social media and build him up a little bit. And KSI versus Joe Fournier, whatever. Moving up the card, this is a really good fight. Salt Papi versus Josh Bruckner. I think it's Bruckner. Josh Bruckner was on the undercard of KSI versus Logan Paul 2. And he was an MMA guy. He's trained with Face Sensei. I've seen a lot of his stuff. Natural athlete. Strong athlete. Naturally well-rounded. Doesn't stand out in any particular area. But he's an athlete, and he does the job done. He looks slightly better. He does very good feints, very good movement. Tiny bit rigid, a stocky, strong guy against Salt Papi, who we've really seen just... He looks like a real boxer. He looks like a real light heavyweight boxer, a cruiserweight boxer, whatever weight class he's at. I don't know what that is in boxing, because there's a weight class every 3 pounds, every kilo in boxing there's a weight class. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's pathetic. However, Salt Papi versus Josh Bruckner. Now, I think this is going to be a decision. I'm going to say split decision. I think this is going to be a razor close fight. I don't think Salt Papi is as good as everyone's saying he is, and if you can prove me wrong, then go out there and do it. But I'm going to say Salt Papi by split decision or majority decision. But in my head, I had this as a draw. I don't know why. I just can see it being a draw, just 2-2. Just 2 rounds each. I can feel Salt Papi starting off, like doing his thing, like working well. But then I can see Bruckner just straight to the body, left hook over the top. I just feel Bruckner getting back into it. I'm going to say Salt Papi by split decision, however I can see it being a draw. I feel like Josh Bruckner is just he's a bit slow. I mean, I also don't feel like he's got the boxing itch the same way Salt Papi has. I mean, he's kind of here to make a few quid. I think Salt Papi's here because he loves to box, but he's not the professional level, but he just loves to box. He's a good boxer. I think Josh Bruckner versus Salt Papi goes to distance. I feel like they're both good enough to stay out of trouble, and they know what to do when they're hurt. But I feel like Salt Papi will edge it with the judges, but I think it'll be a split decision to Salt Papi. Moving up the card. Interesting fight here. Ryan Taylor versus Swarms. Now, I have Ryan Taylor winning this one. I'd love to see Swarms get it done. I really would love to see Swarms win. I'm going to have to take a sip of tea. I would love to see Swarms win. However, I think Ryan Taylor gets it done by knockout. Late in the fight, I think maybe round 4, TKO. Swarms has lost so much weight in the build up to this, and everyone on social media is like, oh, I'm going to back Swarms. No. If someone's like losing weight, their body is eating itself, they're dieting, they're training that hard. To me, that sounds like, yeah, you're working hard, but are you learning much? You're more comfortable now, fair enough. You're going to be more comfortable in there on Saturday night than you have been previously. But your body has been killing itself for weeks. You're not used to this. your body will be frail. Your chin will be out there and frail. And I think Ryan Taylor's the experience under the lights has been in a war with Slim. We can see he's got a chin. We can see he can take massive shots. I think he's going to go out there and it's going to be a little bit of a dogfight, and Ryan Taylor's going to win it in the later rounds. Ryan Taylor by knockout over Swarms. The game's the game, Swarms. Stop pretending like you're from the man Dim Hood or whatever. I'm sorry, I do like you, but unfortunately your time is up here, in my personal opinion. Anthony Taylor versus Idris Virgo. When this was announced, I was like, this is crazy, right? Idris Virgo was that guy that was on Love Island like 4 years ago for like 2 minutes. He was on the show for 2 minutes, kind of trying to do what Tommy Fury did. 2 minutes he was on the show and then he was off. However, I think he's like 14-0 and has like 2-3 KOs. And this is crazy for me to say. I'm picking Anthony Taylor to win by knockout. I feel like Anthony Taylor doesn't have much power against big guys, and I know Idris is a big guy, but he's not the biggest guy. 14-0 means nothing to me. This guy is a phony. I think this guy's a bit like Fury. He's a bit of a phony. Idris Virgo, yeah, he's a skilled boxer. He's got technique, he's got speed, he's got good footwork. But I think Taylor's just going to walk him down. A little Anthony Taylor's going to walk him down. It's the peekaboo style. It's the peekaboo. That's what he's saying. I'm Mike Tyson. That's what he's saying. He's going to walk him down. He's going to walk him down and knock him out. Or a decision. I mean, I don't have a official prediction because I want to see the true extent to his power. I know we can hurt people, but I want to see him plant his feet and really hurt this guy. And also, I want to see more body work from Anthony Taylor. I want to see more body work, and I feel like that's what will win him this fight if he actually actively hunts for the body. If he actually actively hunts to hurt someone to the body, like Idris Virgo, I feel like he could do some serious damage. He could do a very good job. And yeah, I'm going with Anthony Taylor by knockout in the later rounds or decision. I can't give you an official prediction because we haven't seen him work the body as much as I would have liked, but I think he might work it a bit more with this guy. A proper boxer, you need to kind of hit him to the body so he takes his foot off the gas. Anthony Taylor by decision or knockout. Moving up the card, Slim versus Tom Zanetti. I'm going to go Slim second round knockout. Flush KO. I feel like Tom Zanetti is a tough motherfucker. He's a bit older. He's only learning boxing now. Very nice fight for Slim. I think Slim's going to go out there, walk him down, do what he does. Tom Zanetti's going to have his hands up, be like looking to come forward, but Slim, I think, is going to piece him up a little bit. He knows how to use range, and that's such a powerful tool. He used range against Face Temper by making it a dog fight, and then whenever Face Temper would start coming after him, he literally would go right down the pipe, then 1-2, then move back, 1-2 in, 1-2 out, and Face Temper wasn't high enough level to adapt to that. I'm going to go Slim second round KO. I don't think Tom Zanetti is going to really have anything for him. I feel like Slim's been battle tested against Ryan Taylor, obviously. We know he's got guts, he's got heart, and I feel like this fight isn't that nerve-wracking for him because there's no beef, it's not necessarily the fight everyone's talking about. He's just kind of taking a step back and defend his belt, and then it's in the co-main event. You can make a big call out here. Winner fights Jake Paul. That's something you could come out with. Yo, KSI, you fought my leftovers. Me and you should fight next. Da, da, da. Winner gets Jake Paul. Winner gets to take the throne of this shit, man. Say something like that. And I really don't think these guys have anything on Jake Paul. Jake Paul's professional box record is 5-0 or 6-0, whatever he is now. These guys don't really have one because this fight is a sanctioned exhibition fights, I think. With no the sanctioned fucking pro rule exhibition fights. Just to save all these people trying to get a boxing license. Anyway, moving on to the main event. I've got Slim KOing him in a few rounds. The main event time. KSI versus Face Temper obviously was meant to be KSI versus Dylan Dennis. We all know what happened there. I've got KSI winning this one. I don't know. It's 6 rounds, right? I feel like I just don't know why, but I know KSI's good, but I just don't think he's cut from the same cloth as Jake Paul. I don't think he's naturally athletic at all. I think he's going to go out there and he's going to have to bulldoze FaZe Temper. And it's when Swarms was in the ring with him trying to survive, KSI looked sloppy. He was trying to get him out of there quick, yes, because, you know, and even against Pineda, we didn't really see much because they were both just kind of trying to survive. I want FaZe Temper to go after him. And if FaZe Temper goes after him and KSI can get it done, I will have a lot more faith in him for the future. I'm going to go KSI third round knockout. I think the first round is going to be very tip for tap, just like, you know, jabs, whatever. Long, rangy southpaw, which FaZe Temper is. He's 6'4", but KSI's dealt with Logan Paul. You know, he's not going to be afraid of FaZe Temper. Second round, KSI's going to get clipped, I think, by a few good left hands down the pipe, because he shows very little head movement. Then towards the end of the second, KSI's going to come back. Then in the third, he's going to go out there and finish him. Truly, I feel like FaZe Temper's good, but he's just not. He's athletic, very strong, very good, has power. But I feel like KSI will be a bit of a bulldozer. He's not. He won't be afraid. The moment will get to him. He's very good with the pressure. I think he's going to bulldoze FaZe Temper and get it done. I think it'll be a good fight. I think it'll be good. It's a good match. But I also, I feel like FaZe Temper will crumble a little bit, and I feel like KSI will bulldoze him. But I can also see a very controversial stoppage. I can feel it being stopped and FaZe Temper being like, I'm fine. You know, but hey ho, that's my prediction. KSI third round knockout. But if not, even if they go to decisions, I can still foresee that happening as well. But these are my very specific, in detail predictions for you today. Thanks very much for watching. If you have managed to stick around to this point, drop a little subscribe, maybe a little bit of a subscription. Thanks very much. I'd appreciate that very much, boys. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow with another video. I'll make another video tomorrow, hopefully. Probably some news out, something like that I'll cover. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. See you all in my next breakdown video, or my next just news reaction, or my fight companion. I'll be doing a fight companion stream on Saturday night for these fights. Anyway, thanks very much, boys. See you later. Have a good day.